Alright, hello. Welcome to video update 4 for the Street Witch. So I'm still rattling off content getting towards the Street Witch Alpha. And I was kind of getting a bit stuck. I was trying to go through the game in linear order from beginning to the end of the game, and I was I don't know, hitting a bit of a block. And I did a short story writing course last year. And one of the things in that course was you don't have to write your story in chronological order. You can hop around. You can write some at the beginning, and then you can do something that's 4/5 of the way through, and then you can write the end, and then you can come back to the beginning again. You can jump about and just do stuff that is interesting you at the time, and then you can figure out how to link it all up later. And I had a few people play the really early build that I've got at the moment, and I think one thing that they were finding is it's kind of a little bit boring. It starts off and there's no action. You're going and buying cat food, and then you're going home and finding the cat, your cat has been stolen by the goblins and whatever. And so what I wanted to do, which I haven't done in this video, is make it start with a bang. Have some action in the beginning to grab your attention. And so what I decided is the game will start at the end. The game will start just as you've rescued Mog from the goblins, and you're shooting your way out of their penthouse to try and get back to freedom. And then a bit midway through that gunfight, it just cuts, and then you're back buying cat food, and it's the start of the game, and we've jumped back in time, and then you're back at the beginning. So you've got that little bit of action at the beginning to kind of get you into it, let you know what the game's really going to be about, before we then cut back and we do a bunch of story and build up. Where I'd got to before was the subway train, so all of the game all the way through to the subway train. So I took a break, I stopped, I went and made the Candle Club, which is the penthouse where Mog has been taken, and I made basically the beginning and end of the game where you're shooting your way out of that. And that was really fun, and that kind of unblocked me. I realised that would be the end of the game, and so the train section that I'd just been working on before, you'd get off the train and you'd be at Candle Street, and so I wanted to make this level for Candle Street where you would basically start at the point that you're getting off the subway train, and then you would travel through Candle Street, out of the subway station, around the streets, and into the Candle Club, and that would be the penultimate level of the game. And so that's what I've been spending a lot of time building. It's probably the biggest level that I've tried to build so far, and it's linking those two locations together. So the beginning of it is Candle Street Station, and there's some goblins waiting for you there that you have to fight, and so I spent a bunch of time building out all of the different modifiers and stuff to be able to make the tube station, do the curved roof, have the train move off the platform when you leave the train, have the little ticket gates and stuff, sell that scene, and then have you come up and into the streets. And I think the biggest thing that is probably playing in the background around me at the moment with Candle Street is I really wanted to break away from easy FPS's very grid-based looking world, and so this I use this one cube that tessellates, and it's a shop front, and you can place loads of them around, and I can kind of rotate them, and I can break that grid and make it look a bit more like a natural city where buildings don't all link together perfectly. And so I'm using these extensively to kind of break up the grid and make Candle Street feel a bit more like a natural outside environment. There's been a few other things actually that I've thrown in. I'm just looking at my notes that have kind of helped me do this level better. So one of those is I created a whole bunch of lights that are entities instead of editor placed. So I can place the lights in build mode, which lets me move them up and down and position them much more accurately than just the center of every single tile, which, especially because I've got a bunch of sloping geometry and narrow spaces, and the lamppost, it lets me move those lights around and place them much more specifically where I want them, which is really helpful. I'm going to go back and do that across all of the previous levels as well. I just need to take the time to actually do it. And then I've been working, I kind of wanted this level to be a bit less linear. A bunch of the other levels obviously are story-based, you just go beginning to end, you find the thing you get out. With this one being bigger, I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more of a puzzle. You don't just go end to end, there's a gate, and I wanted it to be that you have to find bolt cutters to cut the chain off this gate so you can progress. The bolt cutters will actually be hidden somewhere else in the level, but for now I've got them right by the gate just while I was testing it. But this whole system, I kind of wanted to, it's basically find the key to open the door. But I just wanted to make it a little bit more interesting, give it a bit more juice, right? The key is bolt cutters, and when you cut it, you like cut the chain and kick the gate open and stuff. I just think that's cool. And then there's like a little bit of pathing later on in the level. Like you can't get into the candle club directly, you have to like go around and jump down in order to access it, which I just think is cool. Like separates it out a little bit and makes it interesting. So yeah, still a bunch more to do on this level. There's no enemies in it yet, and there's like still a whole bunch more sort of like dressing to make it really feel like a street, and lighting it nicely and getting all that kind of stuff in place, and then building all the combat in, because there's a whole bunch of combat sections that I haven't even started yet. I've just really been working on the layout. I bumped into a bunch of collision problems. I actually had to redo the buildings twice. So I built this level, deleted this level, built this level, deleted this level, and then built this level a third time to get it to where it is now, which kind of burned me out on it a little bit. I'm taking a break actually for a couple of weeks because there is an Akulu Y2K jam, so I'm actually going to work on a very quick other project, which I'll post a video about soon. If you're on the forums, you've probably seen it already. It's GraphGecko 20XX, which is a kind of Y2K parkour jet set radio clone. So yeah, I'll whack a video up about that soon. Also, I'm going to start a Discord for this project and other projects and tools I'm making and stuff like that. If you want to get in on that, I will put a link to the Discord in the description. So go and click it and come and hang out and share what you're working on and check out what I'm working on, and yeah, it'll be a fun time. I will post there a lot more than I post here. Like putting videos together is kind of not my thing, but like quick videos of what I'm working on, I will probably post pretty much something every day over on my Discord. So yeah, if you want to follow things as they happen, go and join up there. Other than that, if the weather is as nice where you live as it is where I live, then you, like me, should now go outside and have a nice time in the sun. Goodbye.